We're starting with recruiting prediction machine trends. You see, the recruiting prediction machine is the industry's first algorithm and machine-based learning product to predict where athletes will attend college. Now, we had a dead period recently. We're out of it on March 1st, and visits are taking place again. So we have a few changes on the RPM that I want to talk about. First up, edge Dylan Stewart. He's the #1 overall prospect for On3 out of Washington, D.C. He only visited UGA in January, but last weekend he was at Bama, and the RPM machine is trending heavily in the Tide's favor. 78% right now. Second place, you see South Carolina with only 5%, Ohio State on there as well. Now, you wonder how teams are going to recruit against Alabama. They try. One of the things that they use in recruiting against Alabama is the fact that they call them boring. Now, I don't know what constitutes boring, but to me, winning is not boring. And Dylan Stewart had a chance to go check out Alabama, and here's what he said. Everyone on the outside makes it seem like Alabama is boring, and it's really not. It was more exciting and more fun than I thought it would be. They give you a full plan and make you feel like you're destined to make it as long as you follow the plan. Sounds like a pretty good recruiting pitch to me, but if you are going to recruit against Bama, I guess you got to just call them boring. So Joseph Hastings dropped a prediction for Alabama after the visit. That's one reason why the RPM is picked up in Alabama's favor. But it's not done. Dylan Stewart has a busy spring schedule ahead. Like I said, he visited Alabama last weekend, but he has trips in the month of March to Michigan, March 24th, Ohio State, March 31st. He'll be back at Georgia. And then we go to the month of April. He's not done. Penn State, South Carolina, Colorado, Oregon, and Tennessee. So we'll check back in with this RPM because it could change after this string of visits. Let's move to another five-star prospect, wide receiver Mike Matthews out of the state of Georgia. He's the #3 ranked wide receiver in the country, the #6 overall prospect. And as you can see, Clemson, 32%, trending on the RPM. Georgia in there, Tennessee, Alabama round out the 4, as you can see here. But I think watch out for Tennessee. I know Clemson has the lead now, and they're in on him. They've gotten him on campus already, but that Jalen Hyatt effect at Tennessee. Josh Heupel, he's out there looking for stud wide receivers. Mike Matthews, one of the best in the country, and they got a shot at him. Now that Hoops is over, I expect Mike Matthews to hit the road. He has upcoming official visits planned to USC. I think he'll take one to Tennessee. And then you got to watch Clemson, UGA, Ohio State. They're all contenders also to get official visits in the summer. All right, let's bring on Sam Spiegelman. Now that you're on here, Sam, I want to talk about the #2 defensive lineman in the country out of IMG Academy, David Stone. He's been trending toward Michigan State, not Mississippi State, Michigan State. But there's a battle taking place. What do you think of the RPM to Michigan State right now?
Yeah, I think that one is one that we're going to have to watch. He's about to head back to East Lansing later this month, but that'll be a pivotal visit. We know that in January, Michigan State lost their defensive line coach to Georgia Tech, Mario Coleman. They just lost Brandon Jordan, their pass rush specialist, the lead recruiter for David Stone, to the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, Mel Tucker is still there, and he has the ability to hire new assistant coaches that are going to work extremely quickly. And obviously, Mel Tucker is going to shoulder a lot of the workload in recruiting David Stone. They've built up such a great momentum with the elite lineman originally from Oklahoma City. He's been at IMG going into his second season. But now there seems to be a little bit more competition in the form of Oklahoma. He's visited LSU. He's gone to A&M. He's checking out some other SEC schools. But at the end of the day, Michigan State is still in this, but they have to pick up the pieces after 2 of their defensive line coaches are now off to other places.
Yeah, and OU getting a helping hand in recruiting by Gerald McCoy, the former defensive tackle, the legend that went to Oklahoma. Had a great NFL career, but he is actually recruiting David Stone. Do you think the Sooners have a good shot?
Yeah, I think that if you took Brandon Jordan and Mario Coleman out of the equation for Michigan State, Oklahoma has and continue to be the other team involved with David Stone. He's an Oklahoma native, as I said. He's been being recruited by Oklahoma since Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch were there, and with Brent Venables, with Todd Bates, with Miguel Chavis. This is a defensive lineman's dream to be recruited by Oklahoma with so much of a coaching staff presence along the front seven. So I think this is now Oklahoma's race to kind of step in and really move forward. And he's going to visit Oklahoma. He's back home for spring break this month. And that visit will ultimately loom pretty large as he hopes to make a decision before his senior season.
Yeah, let's stick with the five-star defensive lineman theme. Now, Williams Nwaneri, you were actually able to see him in New Orleans over the weekend. He's the #1 defensive lineman in America, the #7 overall prospect in the country, and Oklahoma is trending. And Sam, you might have a reason for this.
I'm jumping on the board. I put my pick in on Sunday night, and listen, it's for obvious reasons. We just talked about it with David Stone, but Oklahoma has 3 coaches devoted to their front seven on their coaching staff, and they have multiple GAs fixated, working exclusively with defensive linemen, trying to create a team and a roster built from the trenches on out under Brent Venables. That's his style. Williams Nwaneri has been to Oklahoma. I think it's been his 5th visit last weekend. He just visited LSU. He just visited Tennessee. He's still going to go see Georgia this weekend. He's expected to go to A&M at the beginning of April, and he's going to go out to Colorado, Josh, and take on the Colorado spring game and meet Deion Sanders in person and see what they're all about. Right now, I like where Oklahoma sits. Familiarity breeds comfortability. He's been there quite a bit, and they're recruiting him. It's close. Missouri is close to Oklahoma, that Midwest feel. I think Oklahoma is the team to beat, though it's still very early for Williams.
Yeah, very early. Still some visits left on the board for the #1 defensive lineman in America. Now let's move on to 4-star cornerback Charles Lester. He's the #3 corner, #21 overall prospect. FSU jumped into the lead a few days ago. What are you hearing on this recruitment?
Yeah, I've also updated my pick. I had a pick on Alabama last year during his junior season. We've talked about this at length. He is a top priority for schools like Florida State, like Alabama, like Georgia. That's Mike Norvell, Kirby Smart, and Nick Saban saying this is the top corner on our board. He's a Sarasota kid. He's been to Florida State more than any other campus, and he was just back this weekend. He got a chance to sit down with Pat Surtain, the new Seminoles DB coach. He's already had familiarity with Tallahassee. Listen, he still has some big visits ahead. He's going to see Georgia again. He's going to see Alabama again. He's going to see Ohio State again, which is definitely a team to watch with Charles Lester. But I think Florida State has built up enough momentum with the in-state corner. He's a top priority for this team. They're hoping to get him on board sooner than later. I like where Florida State stands. The competition is still there, but I like the in-state school for Lester right here.
Yeah, Charles Lester damn near committed to FSU over the weekend. Here's what he said to War Chant afterward, quote, "I want to say it and just do it, but I'm not going to rush it. Right now I'm feeling it," meaning the timeline, "is speeding up. The way I feel about this place, I've really been committed to this place. Time-wise, I'm probably just going to wait it out." Sounds to me like he knows where he's going.
And he just wants to be sure about it. Hey, when you're a top 50 player in the country and you have all the offers in the world and you just want to be sure and you have the ability to visit all these schools and be confident in your decision, listen, it's the beginning of March. Florida State is trending on the RPM. Sounds from his interviews that Florida State is trending publicly. But listen, he still has to sit in front of Kirby Smart and say, I'm going to Florida State. And he has to tell Nick Saban the same thing. So it will be difficult. It will be arduous. But, it looks like Florida State is trending in the right direction with Charles Lester.
Yeah, it looks like FSU almost has this one locked up right now. But if there's one program that can bust an RPM, it would be the Georgia Bulldogs. So I think they're the team to watch in this one. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.